Record of Ragnarok will never be the same after this. We just got revealed the truth about Odin, which includes his past and goal when he was a primordial god, alongside the original Satan and many more gods of the past. The mysterious Siegfried has revealed everything. Nostradamus is questioned about being a possible traitor and seemingly is even more suspicious than ever before. We have more people confirming that round 11 will indeed be Loki vs Simo and many more things that we've broken down in today's video. You do not want to miss out on all this information. Therefore, previously we saw Nostradamus make his way with gold throughout Tartarus, having access to this item and no guards stopping him in any way, bringing gold to Siegfried upon his request, and referring to the dragon slaying hero as a friend. Now we got it revealed that the Joker of Humanity was asked by Odin himself to be Siegfried's doctor long ago, explaining how he has this item and direct access to Tartarus, but this is very strange when noting Siegfried is in this current position because of Odin and likely connects to forcing Brunhilde to start Ragnarok for Odin's own goals. But he needs Siegfried for something outside of that, providing treatment and working with a human to complete such an act. Very strange stuff is going on without a doubt, and makes Goal come to the conclusion that Nostradamus is a traitor. A theory that I've heard mentioned over the last few months and has been something discussed in the fandom since the early days of Ragnarok, particularly since Buddha switching sides. First it was Huang being a potential traitor, now many people saying Rasputin or Nostradamus will be such, but to make it clear, this is the first time a human traitor was actually brought up as a possibility in the series itself. So I'd keep this little scene in mind moving forward, and upon hearing these words come out of Goal's mouth, we do see him get somewhat serious, but he played it off well after that, and even got supported by Siegfried as someone to trust. Therefore, it's likely not the case, but always a possibility, and the fact that it was mentioned is very suspicious. However, considering Nostradamus had actually brought Goal all the way to Tartarus by request of Siegfried to reveal everything we're about to go over, it doesn't seem like an aspect that would come directly from Odin's orders, meaning Nostradamus is going against him in some way, but the entire connection established here is very strange, perhaps providing more reason that they will or won't fight in the tournament, as this is a heavily predicted matchup, particularly now if Simo and Loki are facing one another instead. Regardless, Siegfried claims that Lord Odin doesn't want him to die and does whatever it takes for that. Something that at first may seem confusing, but after learning about the flashback here, it's likely the case that Siegfried is some type of vessel for a primordial god, something I'll expand on later. But the hero continues to say, we need to stop the resurrection of the primordial gods. This is what Beelzebub revealed previously in the story as Odin's ultimate goal, and potentially why Ragnarok may have truly been started. Transitioning us to the insane flashback about Odin and the 88 primordial gods who created everything, the true beginning of the Record of Ragnarok story, before all the gods we know fighting in the tournament. Additionally, this is the canon color scheme of Odin in the series, at least his hair, being revealed in a recent magazine cover and previously in the official webtoon adaptation of the series, meaning the black-haired version we see in the anime is actually incorrect. A common thing that tends to happen in various anime series, even Dragon Ball at various times, but the flashback begins with the reveal of the 4 supreme or strongest primordial gods. Odin, who was referred to as the creator god here, and even being portrayed as the leader among these primordials. Bro's stocks has reached a new level alongside his aura associated drip. We have the Demon King Satan, who's literally vibing in this chair, and makes us question everything we know about Beelzebub. We don't learn anything specific outside of these top 4, or additional information about the other three, but I'm theorizing it connects to Beelzebub potentially being a vessel of this Satan, and potentially the same thing for the others, which I'll be exploring shortly. Furthermore, we have the Lord of Chaos, a primordial god in many depictions, recognized as the first to ever exist, with connections to Greek mythology in most cases. Very interesting to learn about him. And lastly, the primordial giant Ymir, which normally connects to Norse mythology. With these four not just being recognized as the strongest, they're the four pillars of the Norse tree of life. At least that's the meaning of this word on screen now. But out of nowhere, they decided to take out, destroy the other primordial gods, the ones they view as inferior, resulting in 7 others to join these 4 pillars to fight the other 77. Potentially meaning that Odin wants to destroy all gods, and this is his ultimate plan and why he wants to resurrect the primordials in current Record of Ragnarok. But we see these 4 powerhouses complete the massacre with no problem at all, requiring the survivors to come up with a plan to stop them. This is where we see Izanagi, the primordial Japanese god who had some recent shine in round 10. This is in Susanoo's flashback, and actually saving Okita's life after the fight. Being highlighted as insanely impressive in the flashback here. Bro's stocks have gone flying through the roof, seemingly being the leader of the survivors who successfully sealed Odin and the other 10 primordials fighting them away forever, concluding this all-out war. But the power to perform such an act resulted in the death of most of them. Based on what I can gather with this panel and some others, there's around 6 survivors out of the original 77, absolutely wild. However, the 4 pillars left a way to live on, a pathway to reawaken, you could say, sending out their divine ruins before being completely sealed. This is their weapons or artifacts we see here, that if found will result in their reawakening, using others as vessels for what I can tell based on everything we got here. And this is where we see many years in the future, a random god find Odin's sword and reawaken the creator god, and become the very supreme god Odin we know in the series right now. Likely hundreds of thousands of years later, waiting all this time, creating the entire Norse pantheon we know right now, for the plan of resurrecting the others. At least that's what I can tell here. But we don't know what happened to this sword, whether Siegfried got a hold of it in some point, whether the ruins of the other pillars have been found, and various other questions we will all likely have moving forward. People are theorizing that Ymir or Chaos may be inside Nostradamus or Loki. If we look at Chaos's weapon and compare it to Loki's, suspicious stuff going on there. Of course, we have Beelzebub, who likely relates to Satan based on his entire flashback, but also his attack known as Chaos, which is very interesting. We also need to question why Izanagi hasn't made this information known to everyone else, and why he isn't particularly sus of Odin, as yes, this isn't the primordial version of him, but clearly they look the same, particularly right now compared to the past. Does Zeus know the truth about what was revealed here? Was he sus of Odin in this scene long ago? With all these reveals, more questions need to be considered for the future, but this is definitely a goated outcome for the story. Odin, based on all this, could be the strongest character of all time, particularly in his prime when he was a primordial god back here. I'm guessing he wants to resurrect the others, or his original power to take control and complete his original goal to a degree. Maybe more so now with all these lesser gods existing throughout the realms. Does Kentucky look like this because of one of their ruins? There's just many things that can be theorized based on this chapter alone. Therefore, round 11 is likely what we're going to be focusing on in the next chapter, This is considering the preview claims confirming the fighters. Ragnarok, the last battle between gods and humans, is finally at its final stages. Round 11, Simo vs Loki, the battle begins, meaning it's likely the case we're going to see the walkouts, the picking of these two, but I will make it clear I am still somewhat suspicious whether or not it's actually them until I see it on panel. Based on all the information we've gotten from various sources and the amount of people spreading this panel around with the translation, it's likely 90% real. However, we could be up for a crazy shock in the next month, but we're going to have to wait and see. The next video will be going over my predictions for this matchup and everything you need to know about Loki, so stay tuned for that. Watch this video on screen now or check out the playlist. Check out Gamer Subs, the merch, become a member to support the content like these mad lads. But that's it guys, peace.